Hey, welcome back to another Inner Solutions video. Today, I want to talk about how our desires are usually naturally going to come true unless we create a bunch of obstacles to get in the way. And this is going to be slightly different from a lot of the material that you've heard out there when it comes to how to achieve your goals, how to get what you want. Basically, we're going to use the IFS framework, the Internal Family Systems framework, that talks about how we have different parts, different aspects to ourselves, and we're going to use this to explain why it's so hard to achieve your goals sometimes, why it's so difficult to get a new habit and to change the way that you're behaving. Have you ever wanted to achieve a goal or change a habit or achieve some kind of behavioral change in yourself? And when you start off, you're really excited, you're really gung-ho about all the differences it's going to make and how amazing it's going to be when you achieve this goal. But as time goes on, you start to feel conflicted. One part of you wants to keep going, and another part of you just doesn't. A classic example is maybe on Fridays you want to go to the gym, but there's another part of you that wants to stay in and just watch TV. Maybe you want to go for that new promotion or that new position at your job, and you feel like you'd be a great fit for it, and it'd come with more money, more responsibilities, but at the same time, that kind of scares you, and there's a part of you that says, no, this isn't for us. This internal conflict is really the main reason why we don't achieve our goals. It's really the main reason why it's so hard to stick with the new habit or to get rid of old habits that no longer serve us. When you identify the different parts of you that are basically conflicted, it makes it a lot easier to move forward and to achieve your goals. And the biggest thing that I can say is it boils down to, number one, increasing the amount of desire that you have and the clarity of that desire. And number two, it means dealing with these parts who are activated and conflicted. So let me break down both of those. So number one is increasing the desire and the clarity of that desire. So a classic example is, let's say that you are a shy person, and that you have this feeling of, well, I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to ask for directions. If you're in a store and you don't know where something is, you would rather just kind of keep looking around the store and just figure it out for yourself, rather than having to awkwardly ask one of the people that work there. Now imagine that you are in a really important rush. Maybe somebody is at home and they're waiting on you to come back with the medicine. Maybe you just got a call from your boss and says, I need that item in 10 minutes or you're fired. And the stakes just got really higher. So now, instead of casually walking through the store trying to find it yourself, it's time. Like, you have to find that now or else. And so what are you going to do? Are you going to keep awkwardly looking for it, or are you going to just find the quickest person and ask them, hey, where is this thing? Oftentimes when the desire increases and the clarity around why it's so important increases, it's easier to get things done. We kind of get out of our own way. So in that example of the item in the store, the shyness, the feeling of I'm a shy person, wasn't really there when you needed to get that item now. And likewise, whatever your habit is, maybe it's quitting smoking. A lot of people say that when they had a first health scare, that is when they really quit smoking. Or when their first child was born, that is when they really quit smoking, because suddenly it was never more clear why they needed to. So part of achieving your goals and part of getting out of your own way is clarity and intensity of that desire. That's really important. It kind of helps to initiate action. It's more than just being motivated. It's more than just having a sudden burst of energy. It's knowing why. It's the really detailed knowledge of why am I doing this in the first place. It's not enough to just do something to see if you can. It's not enough to just do something to make somebody else happy. It's really important that you have a number of different reasons that are motivating you. And the reason we want a number of different reasons is so that they talk to the different parts of ourselves. So for example, if you have let's say with the workout analogy, you want to go to the gym, but you also don't. So there's a part of you that wants to go and be fit, and there's another part that just doesn't. So you have to kind of identify that part and see, hey, what is it that is keeping you from going to the gym? Are you scared of being judged by people there? Are you worried it's going to just be too much effort and we're going to exhaust ourselves? Are you worried that when we change how we look, it's going to, change other things in our lives? Are we just not really seeing ourselves as a fit person? Maybe you think you don't deserve that. There's many, many reasons why a part of you would not want to go to the gym. But the important thing is to identify that part and then speak to their motivation. So the way that I do this is I create a web of reasons. So I take out a piece of paper and I just start to write down as many possible reasons to go to the gym as I can. I think of everything. I think of, the health benefits. I think of the bad things I'll avoid by going to the gym, like some of the illnesses or the physical weakness that'll be there. I think of maybe I'll meet somebody there at the gym. I think of all the good things and all the bad things, and I put it all down on paper. And what that does is it gets me to start becoming more and more clear on why this is important, and it starts to talk to the different parts of me. And I want you to take this really, really far, right? Don't just stop at the obvious reasons of, well, I'm gonna look better and I'm gonna feel better. You can keep going with it. Try to talk to all the different parts of you that have an issue. For example, there might be a part of you that's very obsessed with how people see you. So for that part, reasons like I'm gonna look better are really motivating. There's another part of you that's maybe scared of developing an illness. So for that part, reasons like I'm gonna be more healthy are really motivating. Maybe there's another part who's really motivated by just the idea of being a consistent person and the effects that'll have on your life. So for that person, just saying, showing up every day is going to change us somehow. That can be really motivating. Maybe there's another part of you that is motivated by the idea that the more that you work out, the less you'll have to do other things. So you can say, well, hey, the more we work out, the less we're going to have to go to the doctor. Maybe there's a part of you that is scared of going to the gym. So you have to talk to that part and kind of show it that, hey, this isn't going to happen. We're not going to be threatened by these people at the gym. But the biggest thing, going back to the store example, is as you increase the clarity and the desire, a lot of these obstacles just fall away, right? When you have to find that item or else, the shyness, it might still be there to some level, but it's no longer strong enough to stop you. And similar to whatever your goal is, once the clarity there is so strong, and you know why you need to quit the cigarettes, and you know why you need to go to the gym, suddenly the obstacles are a lot weaker. You might be listening to this thinking, well, I know why I need to go to the gym, I know why I need to quit smoking, but trust me, when you get out a piece of paper and write down 100 different reasons that are all kind of connected to each other, and what you'll find is when you get really, really, really clear on all the benefits that you are going to have when you make this change, and all the negatives that you're going to avoid when you make this change, it starts to speak to all the different parts of you. And most importantly, it starts to kind of speak to the parts of you that are resisting doing this thing. And so as you increase the clarity and increase the desire of this change, of this new habit or this goal, and as you start to kind of identify these parts of you that are holding back, and you kind of talk to them directly, not in an aggressive way like you have to do this, but in a negotiating kind of way where you say, hey, have you thought about it this way? Have you thought about the benefits and the negatives that we're going to avoid. So by taking these two things together, we're basically getting out of our own way and making it so much easier to achieve that goal or to make that big change that we want to make. I hope that helps. It's just an interesting way of looking at why we don't do the things that we want to do. It always comes back to just having these internal conflicts and these parts of ourselves that are kind of not exactly aligned with the bigger picture. It's important to remember that you are not these parts, right? You are the awareness or the soul, or whatever you want to call it, whatever word you want to use. In the IFS methodology, we just say you are the you that is not a part. And so however you want to phrase it in your mind, it's fine. But just remember that you are not these parts. You are not your thoughts. You are not your feelings. And ultimately, you are able to rise above the momentary pull of these different thoughts and feelings and parts. And you can kind of find the clarity of what you really want, where you really want to go, and rise above that in any given situation. It can take practice. It can take time. And like I said, doing these exercises where you get very, very clear on all the benefits that you're getting and all the negatives that you're avoiding, it can kind of create an internal alignment where you literally are more aligned, there's less internal conflict, and you're more just pure in your goal. And that makes a huge, huge difference. So hope that helps. And if you like what you've heard, make sure to subscribe and share this with somebody who needs to hear it. But in the meantime, I wish you the best. And yeah, take care, my friend.